is just stand with your feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and then just bring your arms out to the side. And then from here, just want you to take one hand to the opposite ankle as you exhale. Inhale as you come up. Then to the other side, exhale, hand down. Inhale, come up. So just starting to mobilize the spine. Out through the mouth as you bend opposite hand to ankle. In through the nose as you come up each time. Now start to build up a little bit of speed and a rhythm. Exhale, inhale. Exhale down, inhale up. So you're just looking down towards the opposite ankle. You're not looking behind yourself or anything like that. So try to establish a rhythm with the breath in conjunction with the movement. And try to establish a consistent speed. 4 more. 3, 2, and then hold it up. Reach that right arm in the air. Inhale. Exhale, it's like you're sandwiched between 2 panes of glass. Reach your hand down towards the ankle. Inhale, other arm up. Exhale, hand down the leg. Inhale up. Now as you're moving, just be aware if you can reach down to one side more than the other. Or if one side feels slightly different to the other. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Try not to twist as you bend, and try not to lean forward or back. And just make a mental note if one side feels different. Let's do 2 more. And then bring the feet together. And lift the arms up. And you're going to exhale, hands down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. So now you're forward bending with the spine. Just going as far as you feel comfortable. And again, establish a rhythm. Soften the knees if it feels easier on the hamstrings. Exhale, inhale. Out through the mouth, in through the nose. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Hold it down. Rise up onto tiptoes. Connect your heels together. Toes slightly apart. Inhale, exhale as you come down like this, straightening the legs. And inhale as you lift the head up. So your knees are apart like a little frog. Exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, head up, bend the knees. If it's too much on the knees, just have a small bend like this. Inhale, bend the knees, look up. Exhale, straighten the legs, look down. Again, try to build up a little bit of speed. Stay looking up, and then bring the knees together and let your arms come to shoulder height, still on tiptoes, and then coming up, rising up on tiptoes, shoulders down, and then bend the knees, and then coming up, and bend the knees, inhale, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. We got 4 more, inhale down, 3 more, inhale down, 2 more, inhale down, 1 more, and then gently place the hands down on the floor, coming onto all fours for a cat stretch. So you're going to inhale, look up, stick your tailbone out and draw your shoulder blades down, and exhale, tuck the tailbone under, chin to chest, pubic bone comes towards the nose. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale, exhale. Again, build up the speed, build up the rhythm. Inhale, look up, exhale, tuck under. If that doesn't agree with your neck, just keep the head in the same position and just move the spine as much or as little as you feel comfortable. Inhale, looking up, exhale, curling the spine, nose to pubic bone. We're going to do 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and release. And then from here, spread the fingers out wide. And you're going to take a nice easy box press up, but you're going to take it in 3 counts. So you're going to lean forward and have a little bend in the elbows. Not more than halfway down. Then you're going to breathe in, hold that position. And then you're going to exhale, you're going to bend a little deeper and lean a little further forward. Then hold that position. Then you're going to breathe in. Then you're going to exhale, bend a 3rd time. Hold it. And then slowly straighten up. So it's a 3 count press up. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, bend the elbows. A 1/3 of the way down. Breathe in, hold that position. Exhale, bend a 2nd time. 2/3 of the way down. Breathe in. Exhale and bend as deep as you can. And then slowly straighten up. So it's more challenging because you're holding it in between. So you've got to stay there for longer. Working the muscles harder. Breathing in. Exhale, bend a 1/3 of the way down, leaning slightly forwards. Breathe in, hold the position. Exhale, bend another 1/3 down. Hold the position as you inhale. Exhale, all the way down or as far as you can manage, and then slowly pushing back up. And as you push back up, make sure you don't lean back. Breathe in. Exhale, bend. 1/3 of the way down. Breathe in. Exhale, bend. 2/3 of the way down. Now remember, the further forward you lean, the harder it is. If it's too much, lean a little further back. Breathe in. And exhale down again. Inhale. And slowly coming up. In to prepare. And exhale, bend. In to prepare. Exhale, bend a second time. Breathe in, hold. And exhale, bend a third time. Slowly straighten up. Now we got that 3 more times. Breathing in. And exhale, bend. Breathing in. Exhale, bend again. Breathing in. And exhale, bend again. Slow motion pushing up. Try not to lean back. Breathing in. Exhale again. Breathe in, hold. Exhale again. Breathe in, hold. And exhale again. Slowly pushing up. And we got that one last time. Breathing in. Exhale, bend. Breathe in. Exhale, bend again, keeping that pelvis in neutral, lumbar spine, neutral. Breathe in again. And exhale, right down. And slowly pushing up. Turning the palms inwards, so facing each other. Threading that right hand through. Right ear, right shoulder on the floor if you can get that far. Opposite arm, left arm goes behind the back, reaching the fingertips of that left hand for the crease of the right hip. Then turn your head towards the ceiling to the left and pull that left elbow and left shoulder back. Rotating in that thoracic spine, opening out chest and shoulder. Nice deep breathing. And then gently release. Changing sides. Left hand threading through left ear. Left shoulder on the floor, right arm behind the back. Fingertips of the right hand into the crease of the left hip. Turn the head to the right to look to the ceiling and pull that right elbow and right shoulder back. Spend a few breaths here. You open out that thoracic spine. Inhaling for 3. And exhaling for 3. And then gently release. Back onto all fours. And then gently come down onto the floor. With the arms at 10 to 2 and the legs at 20 past 8. So this is all about the mid-back muscles here, shoulder blades, bra strap, mid to lower trapezius. So it's all about keeping your shoulder blades away from your ears, back and down. So if when you lift the arms, you feel that you're going to hunch, then widen your arms to 2:45 instead, because the most important thing is that you don't hunch, okay? So, first of all, we're going to move your right arm and your left leg, okay? So you want to feel, first of all, we'll do the leg. Without actually lifting the leg, so forehead down on the mat, just pull in your core, keep your head down, and just feel, after you've zipped up that tight pair of jeans, that you're stretching the left thigh out of the left hip socket. So you're trying to reach that left big toe along the floor without actually lifting the foot. Now as you reach and lengthen that left leg, you should feel that your left butt cheek clenches and tightens, which is what we want. Now at the same time, reach your fingertips of your right arm forward like you're trying to touch something that's just out of reach. That action will result in your shoulder hunching, so use the lower trapezius to draw the scapula down, making a big gap between ear and shoulder. And then lift, right arm, left leg, and head, maybe an inch, possibly 2, off the floor. So this is not about the height, it's about the length. Diagonal straight line from the fingertips of the right hand to the toes of the left foot. Now feel that somebody's got hold of your hand and another person's got hold of your foot and they're pulling them in 2 opposing directions, what we call opposition. So lengthen the arm forward, lengthen the leg back, pull your shoulder blade down, pull your core in, energy out the crown of the head, pulling forwards, and then release. So the work comes not from the height, but from creating length. Now we're going to do right leg, left arm. Breathe in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. Pull up the kneecap of that right leg and stretch the right big toe along the floor. Feel like someone's pulled your thigh bone out of your hip socket. So that clenches the right butt cheek. And then reach the fingertips of that left hand forward like you're trying to touch something that's out of reach. And then pull that left shoulder blade down, suck in your core, lift arm, leg, head and chest no more than 2 inches off the floor. And when you're up there, pull your arm and leg apart without hunching, without losing the core. Keep stretching, bring the head forward, shoulder blades down, big gap between ear and shoulder, and then gently release. So you can continue with opposite arm and leg, right arm, left leg. Otherwise, you can do all 4 limbs at the same time if you prefer. Breathing in. Slide the shoulder blades down, zip up that tight pair of jeans, double chin, and then lifting all 4 limbs out of the shoulder socket, out of the hip socket. So imagine a starfish, energy going north, south, east, west, in as many energy directions away from the center as possible, spreading yourself out, but keeping that strong core zipped up, keeping the shoulder blades drawn down. Reach out, create that length, and then release. Breathing in. Pelvic floor, belly button. Slide the shoulder blades down, spread the fingers, spread the toes, and then as you lift all 4 limbs, feel them pulling away out of the shoulder sockets, out of the hip sockets, away from the center, energy going out like a starfish, but zipping up, pulling up that navel, drawing down the scapula, reaching out through the crown of the head, stretch, and then gently release. Breathing in. Pelvic floor, belly button, slide the shoulder blades down. Reach out through the fingertips, through the toes, and slowly lifting up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Fingers long, neck long, toes long, zipping up. Spread yourself in as many different energy directions as you can, north, south, east, west, away from the center. Shoulders down, zipping up. And then gently release. One last time. Breathing in. Pelvic floor, belly button. Slide the shoulder blades down. Stretch those fingers nice and long. And lift. Stretch and lift, stretch and lift. Pulling out through the arms, through the legs. Spreading the fingers, spreading the toes. Hold it. Breathe, lengthen, stretch, and release. Now just clasp the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders and elbows back, and slide the arms down the back of the legs, opening the chest. Navel is tight. Option here to close the feet and lift the legs up at the same time. When the feet are closed, there's more pressure on the lumbar spine, so you can do it with the feet off and apart, or you can just do it with the legs on the floor. Otherwise, try to lift the legs and really roll those shoulders and elbows back. And we're going to hold for 20 seconds. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In for 3 and out for 3. Keeping that core engaged, keeping the shoulders back and down. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently release. Slowly pushing up onto all fours, sitting back on your heels in Pilates rest position. And then from here, try to side bend over to the right. Stretching your lats, your latissimus dorsi, from your armpit down to the waist on that left hand side. Reach the fingertips of that left hand forwards, like you're trying to touch something out of reach. Or sitting your left heel or your left butt cheek back on your left heel. And then sway to the other direction. Stretching the right hand side of your spine. Reaching the fingertips of that right hand forwards. Or sitting your right butt cheek back on your right heel. And then coming back to the center. And slowly rolling up. Head comes up last of all. Kneeling upright. And stretching the arms in front of you. Hands about shoulder height. I'm going to tuck that tailbone under, so your pubic bone tucks under, so you're not sticking your butt out. Tucking under, so you've got a diagonal straight line between your shoulder, your hip, through to the knee, okay? So your pubic bone down, ribs in, so when you lean back, that diagonal straight line between knee, hip, shoulder remains. You're not leaning your butt back, and you're not arching your ribs either. So, breathing in, tucking under, exhale, leaning back. Just as far as you can feel a little bite, a little pinch in those quads. Don't go past the point of no return. Slowly coming up. Exhale back. So if you've got any knee issues, I suggest just going back an inch or two. Exhale. Otherwise, you can go as far back as you can maintain that diagonal straight line. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Just warming up those quads. Inhale, but using the core at the same time. Keep the shoulders back and down. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And again, exhale back. Inhale forwards. Exhale, pulling back. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Inhale forward. We've got one more. Exhale back. On this last one, hold it. 10 little pelvic tilts. Tuck, release. Tuck, release. 3, 2, hold it. And slowly coming up. Now from here, stretch your right leg forwards. And square off the pelvis. So you're not hip hitching on and shortening on that right hand side of the waist, and the right hip isn't coming in front of the left. So right hip back, left hip forwards. So, gonna reach with a flat spine, try not to hunch. So lift the breastbone, stick your butt out, reach forward. Just stretch out the hamstring. And make sure that the front foot isn't rolling out to the side, to the little toe side. Press that big toe down. And then from here, you've got your right foot forward. Keep the left hand on the floor. Turn your head to the right. Rotate your ribs to the right. And lift that right arm up in the air. Without hip hitching. So keeping this right hip down nice and long on the side of the waist. So you might feel a little bit of a sciatic nerve stretch going down the side of the leg. If you'd like to increase this stretch, instead of resting on your left hand, you can bend down and see if you can get your left elbow on the floor. If not, that's fine. Just stay on your left hand instead. You'll feel a much deeper stretch when your elbow is down. Rotating the spine. And then bend the front knee and sweep your arms up. Tuck the toes of the back foot under. And if you want to, if you feel able to, push the back heel away and it will lift the back knee off the floor. Opening out the hip flexor at the front of that left hip. Breathing in for 3 and out for 3. But if you prefer to keep the back knee on the floor, then that's fine. So your left leg is stretched out. I want you to open your right arm behind you and see if you can touch the back of that left leg. So you're twisting to your right. Again, this can be done with the back knee on the floor. So it's opposite arm to leg. If your back knee is down, see if you can reach back a little. Breathing in for a count of 3. And out for a count of 3, looking over that right shoulder. And then release. Just step back. Bringing that left foot forwards. Right knee directly under the right hip. Try not to hunch the spine. Try to flatten the spine. And then just have a look at that left big toe. Make sure it's pressing down so your leg is in parallel. You're not rolling onto the side of the foot. Turn your head to the left. Keep the right hand on the floor. Turn the ribs to the left. And lift that left arm in the air. So again, you might feel a slight nerve stretch going down the side of the leg. And the option's the same. You can come down onto that right elbow if you wish. You'll feel a much bigger stretch. But again, you just got to be aware that you're not hip hitching on that left hand side of the waist. Keep twisting the ribs to the left. And take a couple more breaths. And then bend that left knee. Sweep the arms up. Tuck the toes of that right foot under. And without really lifting the pelvis at all, you're just pushing that back heel backwards so it lifts that knee off the floor. If you want to lift the knee off the floor, you can keep it down on the mat if you prefer. Opening out the front of that right hip now. And now we take the left hand and we turn to the left, looking over the left shoulder, and we reach our left hand onto the back of the right thigh. And again, you can do this sliding towards the ankle, with that back knee on the floor, if you wish. Otherwise, the back knee is off and you're looking over that left shoulder. Inhaling for 3 and exhaling for 3. And then gently release. Stepping back and coming down to lie on your side. So you're going to have 2 straight legs, making sure your joints are stacked. Hip over hip, knee over knee, ankle over ankle. Make sure the feet aren't in front of your hips, they're kind of level. And you're lying down on the outstretched arm. So the top arm is going to be in front of you. Joints are stacked, so you're not rolling back onto the fleshy part of your butt, hip over hip. Top shoulder down. Going to breathe in to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to lift the head, the top leg, and the top arm. So the head comes off, top leg, top arm, and then you slide and prop yourself up on that underneath arm so that this elbow is directly under the shoulder. And the 2 things watching out for is that you're not hunching and collapsing on that shoulder, and you're not collapsing on that rib. So the bottom rib has got to be pulled in, and that top shoulder has got to be pulled back. So these are the important things: rib, shoulder. Pull it in, pull it back. Then pull this arm out of the shoulder socket, reaching away from your neck, and pull this top leg out of the hip socket. Top leg won't lift very high unless it's turned out, so keep it turned in. Pull it out of the hip socket, lengthen the waist, and lengthen the leg out of the hip socket. And the head is reaching in the opposite direction to the arm and leg. Push through the forearm so that you don't start sagging and collapsing. Push and lengthen away. And again, just like we did when we were lying face down in that starfish shape, we're pulling and stretching. So rather than any height in the leg, not too much, it's more about the length. And then gently release back down onto the mat again. Breathing in. As you exhale, lift the head, lift the leg, lift the top arm and slide and prop yourself up on that elbow. Making sure you're not rolling back on the hips, that you're on the bones of the hip. Wake up that bottom leg so it's not just lazing around. Stretch it and lengthen that bottom leg. Lengthen the top leg. Pull your rib in, pull your shoulder back. Reach the fingers and toes one direction. Reach your head in the opposite direction, pushing through that forearm. And turn that top leg in so it doesn't rotate out. Turn it in the hip socket and lengthen it. Ribs in tight, pushing through the forearm so you don't collapse. Keep reaching and stretching. And then gently coming back down. Breathing in, again, to prepare. Zip up the tight pair of jeans. You're going to exhale, lengthen and lift. Propping yourself up on that elbow. Stretching and reaching out through fingers and toes. Pulling both shoulders down, pushing through the forearm, so you're pushing your body away from the floor, so you don't start sagging and collapsing. Ribs in, shoulder back, navel tight, zipping up that tight pair of jeans, turning the top leg in, and then gently down. Breathing in, pelvic floor, belly button. And gently lengthen and lift the head, the arm, the top leg, and prop yourself up. Reach and stretch. Fingers and toes nice and long. Keep breathing, keep pushing through the forearm. And you should start to feel a good old burn here if your leg is A, lengthened, and B, turned in, not out. Keep stretching. And gently release. Coming back down. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic full belly button. Lengthen, stretch, and lift that top leg. Lift the head and slowly prop yourself up. Turn the leg in. Reach and hold. Lengthen, lengthen. Lift, lift, lift. Now bend it in and reach it out. Elbow to knee, keeping stable, and reach it overhead. Elbow to knee without collapsing those ribs, reach it out. Elbow to knee, reach it out. Exhale. Inhale. No twisting, no rolling of the hips or pelvis. Reach it out. Elbow to knee. Reach it out. And one more. Elbow to knee. And reach it out. And gently release. You're going to stretch the glute on the top leg. So roll onto your back. And cross that ankle over the opposite knee. Then take the foot that's on the floor, off the floor, pull it into your chest. Stretching out the glutes. Easy breathing. Let's wait for that lactic acid. Just get squeezed out of the muscle from the stretch and into the bloodstream. Sometimes you can feel an extra burn when you do the stretch until it subsides. And then gently release. So coming to work the abs now. So we're going to do your square abdominals. So you're going to start, I'll just show you first of all, exhale, engage the core to bring your legs up to tabletop. And it's 4 movements. So they're calling it square abs because your abs make the shape of a square. So you exhale, 90-degree angle, it mustn't change. You push your feet halfway down to the floor, wherever you can stay stable. And then your knees and feet open up, maybe shoulder width apart. Before you come back, really imprint the spine into the mat, unless you want to stay neutral, which is fine. Slowly come back, knees above the hips, and then legs come together. So it's like you're making a square shape with the legs. They go away from your chest, they open out shoulder width, you bring them back to tabletop, and then they close. So you're only going as far as you can keep the pelvis nice and stable. So arms are down by your side, engage core, pelvic floor, belly button, float up one leg, float up the other leg. So now your knees and your feet together and your heels are level with your knees. So the important thing is that we keep this 90-degree angle. So as we push the thighs away, you're not straightening the legs, you're not bringing the heels any closer to your butt. Okay? So breathing in to prepare. Exhale, engage pelvic floor, belly button, knees and feet together. Just push the feet towards the mat, pushing the knees away from your chest. keeping a 90-degree angle at the knee joint. Just as far as you feel comfortable. It might be only be a few inches, that's fine. Wherever you can get to where your back doesn't arch. Then gently open out knees and feet to about shoulder width apart. Just before you bring the knees back, really press that lower back into the mat to prevent it from arching, and slow motion, bring the knees till they're back above the hips, and then close the legs again. So that'll be 1 repetition. So again, just bear in mind what I always say. Sometimes it's better to do this with your eyes closed because you're more aware of different sensations in the body. You're not so obsessed with how far your legs are moving. Breathe in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, slow motion. So you can be neutral pelvis as you push the legs away, or you can have a slight imprint of the spine, meaning you've got a pelvic tilt pressing your lower back flat towards the mat. When you're at your limit, just gently open the knees to no wider than shoulder width, and just before you come back, slightly tilt the pelvis if you feel able, and then slow motion, bring the knees back above the hips, and then close the ankles and knees together. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. So again, as you push away, remember, better to have less range of movement so that you can go slower, because that's more difficult than having a bigger range of movement but going faster. Going slow means you've got to hold contraction for longer. Gently open out to shoulder width, hold it. See if you can imprint the spine a little. And then slow motion, bring the knees above the hips. And close the feet together. Breathing in, eyes closed, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. Push the thighs away from your chest. Keep the knees at 90 degrees. And only push the legs as far as you can keep the pelvis stable, either neutral or imprint. It mustn't arch. So you should not feel this in the back. If you do, you're going too far. Limit your range of movement. Open out the legs, feet. Slowly come back. So remember, slower is harder. If you feel you're losing control, then you might need to move a little quicker. Closing the feet. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. So again, even if you just move the legs just an inch away, you should feel this in your abs, even just there. So don't get obsessed with the range of movement. Just think about what you feel. And sometimes that's easier to detect when your eyes are closed. Open out the knees, slowly coming back. So just going in your own time. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. Gently press that lumbar spine down. As you push those legs away, open out the knees. Slowly press down. And then close the legs. Now you've got that 1 more time. You've got it in you. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Push those legs away to a level you can manage. Gently open out. Pressing that lower back down as your legs come back. And then bring the knees in. I just give them a hug. You might have a little rock from side to side. And then this next one, arms are down by your side. And let's stretch the legs up in the air. Now, again, you've got a choice here. You can put one leg down at a time, right leg down, then left leg down. And then you can lift one at a time. Right leg up, then left leg up. Then your choice is either you do a pelvic tilt, like a reverse curl, or you can take your legs up and over head, and then slowly come down one vertebra at a time. So if you want to do the easier version, we do single legs, right leg down, right leg up, left leg up, and then just a pelvic tilt. Or it's double leg press, double leg raise, and then take the legs up and overhead. So whatever version works for you. Take a deep breath in now through the nose, legs, feet at 90 degrees above the hips. And then exhale, either right leg down or left leg down, or you put both legs down. As long as your back doesn't arch, then either lift right leg up and left leg up, or both legs up. Then tilt the pelvis, press that lumbar spine flat, hold that pelvic tilt, and if you want to take it further, you can take your legs overhead. Again, don't worry if your feet don't touch the floor, if your knees are bent. Just come to wherever feels right for you. And then as you're coming down, one vertebra at a time, if you want more ab work, push the legs further away from your chest. Because the closer the legs are to your chest, the less abdominal work there is. You're trying to keep your head on the floor. Use your hands to act like a brake. And then slowly, either right leg down, left leg down, or both legs down. So again, just go at your own pace. Either right leg up, left leg up, or both legs up. Then do a pelvic tilt, or if you want to take the legs up and overhead, feel free to do that also. Again, don't worry if your legs are slightly bent or if the feet don't touch the floor. And as you come down sequentially, bone by bone, one vertebra at a time, use your hands pressing into the floor to act like a brake. Try not to hunch the shoulders. Try to keep the head on the floor. And then either put one leg down at a time or both. Whatever feels right for your back. As long as your back doesn't arch. And again, either pelvic tilt or take the legs up and over. Stretching. And slowly coming down. Breathing out. One leg down at a time or both. Using your core, the slower you move, the more challenging it is, the more control you have to have. So again, try not to rush it. And we're going to do that one last time. Slowly coming back down. And when you finish this last one, gently roll onto your opposite side for your outer thigh exercise. Lying on that outstretched arm. Again, being mindful, you want your joints stacked, hip over hip, knee over knee, ankle over ankle. And really lengthen the waist on that top side. Pull in the underneath rib, draw that top shoulder down, pull up the kneecaps, reach the fingertips at the bottom arm along the floor. Getting that length in the spine. Breathe in to prepare. As you exhale, lengthen, lift that top leg, lift the head and slide that underneath arm directly under your shoulder, reaching that top arm away. Without collapsing on the shoulder, without collapsing on the rib. So rib in, shoulder back. Lengthen the waist, turn that top leg in and reach the crown of the head forward. And again, as you hold, push, like you're pushing your forearm and elbow into the floor, because that will start to help to push you away. The longer you hold, the more you'll collapse. So keep pushing away from the mat. Lengthen out of that hip socket, lengthen the waist. And then very gently sliding back down. Breathing in to prepare. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, slide the shoulder down, lift the top leg, lift the head and slide that underneath arm directly under the shoulder. And the most important thing is you're not collapsing on the rib, you're not collapsing on that shoulder. Top leg turns in and it pulls out of the hip socket. And you're pulling the top arm out of the shoulder socket and the head is reaching in the opposite direction away. Pushing through the forearm, zipping up that tight pair of jeans. See if you can lift the top leg, maybe another inch or so, but keep it pulled out of the hip socket. And then gently coming back down. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, lengthen, stretch and lift that top leg, turn it in. Lift the head and slide that underneath arm, propping yourself up without that shoulder coming forward or collapsing on it. Pull it back, pull the rib in, push through the forearm. Top leg not only pulls out of the hip socket, but it turns in. Top arm stretches, head reaches the opposite direction. See if you can lift that top leg maybe another inch or so. And as you lift it, make sure that you don't collapse. And then gently relax back down. 2 more times. Breathing in to prepare. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. Slide that top shoulder down. Lengthen, stretch and lift that top leg and slowly prop yourself up. Onto the elbow, turn the leg in, pull that shoulder back and down, navel is tight. Keep reaching and stretching. Also wake up that bottom leg, making sure it's not just hanging lazily. Stretch it, pull up the kneecaps. And gently release. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, and lengthen the head. Lengthen the top leg, the top arm and stretch it up. Turning in, pull the rib in, lengthen. Push through the forearm, suck in the belly button and gently release. I'll do that one last time before we slightly change it. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. Slowly lengthen and lift that top leg, stretch, push through that forearm. You should feel it here and it should start to burn by now if you're doing it right and you've got the leg turned in and lengthened. Then I'm going to bend that knee, make sure you don't roll backwards, bend the knee without collapsing and then reach the arm overhead again without collapsing. And then bend the knee. So elbow to knee, nothing else moves, and then you're extending the arm overhead. And then exhale, elbow to knee, keep pushing up through that forearm. Inhale, overhead, shoulder blade down. Exhale, elbow to knee, make sure you're not collapsing in that rib or shoulder on that underneath side. And again, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach it over. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach it over. 2 more. Elbow to knee. Stretch, shoulder down. And last one. Stretch, reach and hold. And then gently release. Crossing that top leg over the bottom leg. So rolling onto your back. Crossing that ankle over the opposite knee, just above the knee. Turn that knee out to the side. And the foot that's on the floor, take it off the floor. Pull it into your chest. Inhaling for 3. And exhaling for 3. Now, coming into hip rolls. So, your legs are bent at 90 degrees in tabletop position above the hips. Arms out to the side, wide in a T shape. If you want to make this easier, remember you can do this with your feet down on the floor. The action's the same. Legs to the right, head to the left. So, breathing in to prepare. Exhale. Pelvic floor, belly button, legs to the right, head to the left. So only taking the legs as far as you can keep that opposite shoulder, that left shoulder down. Keep the knees and feet super glued together, 90 degrees. If you've got your feet and knees off, keep them off the floor. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, slowly come back to center, using that core. Breathe in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, legs, left, head, right. And again, only taking those legs as far as you can keep that right shoulder blade on the floor. Your knees are off, your feet are off. Breathe in. Exhale, squeeze ankles, knees, inner thighs, sit bones, pelvic floor, belly button. Get those ribs in like you're going to be sick. Slowly come back center. So you can keep both knees at 90 degrees, or you can stretch up that left leg towards the ceiling, keeping both knees together. So you've got right knee bent at 90, left leg stretched up to the ceiling. This adds a little bit more weight and a bit more stretch and a bit more ab work. Otherwise, keep them both at 90 degrees. Take the legs to the right and the head to the left. Again, just as far as you feel able. Breathe in as you hold. Slow motion, squeeze the knees, the inner thighs, the sit bones, the pelvic floor, the belly button, the ribs. And then switch legs. Bend the left knee to 90 degrees, stretch that right leg up. Keep the knees together, super glued. Breathing in. Exhale, legs left, head right. Breathing out. Breathing in, squeeze the ankles, the knees, the inner thighs, the sit bones, the pelvic floor, the belly button, the ribs. Slowly coming back. And on this last one, if you want more ab work, 2 straight legs, not locked, just soft knees. Otherwise, you can keep one bent, one straight, or both bent, or you can just do nice and relaxing feet on the floor variation. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button. Legs to the right, head to the left, only as far as you can keep the opposite shoulder, that left shoulder, on the floor. Try not to let the feet or the knees touch the floor. Then squeeze the knees in particular because they want to come apart, the legs, as you bring them back to the center. Try to keep the legs together. Breathing in, pelvic floor, belly button, legs left, head right. Notice if one side feels easier. Pelvic floor, belly button, squeeze the ankles, the knees, the inner thighs, the sit bones, the pelvic floor, the belly button, and the ribs. And then just bend the knees in. Give them a little hug. And either you can roll left to right, or you place the hands underneath your knees and you roll like a ball. Your Pilates rolling like a ball. So you don't let your head touch, and you don't let your feet touch. Inhale back, exhale forward. And as you roll like a ball, you're trying to keep the distance between your feet or your heels and your butt the same, so that you're not straightening out the legs or bending them as you move. And also the gap between your knees and your chest the same, so that you're not pulling the knees into your chest then pushing them away to lift up. So it's like the body doesn't change position, you're just rocking back and forwards. One more. Hands all the way up to sitting. You're going to stretch the legs out. So you're going to bend that right knee and then you're going to let it drop out to the side and pull the sole of that right foot up towards the pubic bone. So facing you so you can see, like this. And then opposite arm to leg, you're going to reach for the outside of that ankle. So you're going to twist and look over your shoulder, almost looking behind you as you reach forward and down. Pushing out through that heel. Foot is flexed. So you've got a forward bend and a little bit of a spinal twist as well. Nice deep breathing. And then gently release. Good, change leg. Opposite leg. If it feels too much on your knee to bring it right up here, just leave it out to the side where it feels comfortable. Opposite arm to leg, reaching for the outside of the shin, turn and twist your body and then lean forward. It's like you're looking behind yourself. Flexing the foot. And then gently release. Coming back onto all fours. Tuck your toes under, come into down dog. And just alternate knee bends. Stretching and opening out the backs of your legs, particularly your calf muscles. Exhale each time you push a heel down into the mat. And then push both heels down. Walking your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees, shake out the neck. Shake out the head. And let the stomach pull you up, one vertebra at a time. And again, breathing in. Chin first. Working your way down. When you get to the bottom, sway to your right, stretching the left hand side of your waist and lower back. Come back, centre, sway to the left, stretching your right hand side of the waist and lower back. Come back to the centre, clasp the hands behind your back and lift the arms up and overhead, opening out your chest, opening out your shoulders. Alternative, placing the hands on the hips and roll the shoulders back, pointing the elbows up to the ceiling if that feels easier. Take a few breaths here. And then release the hands, bend the knees and slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, breathing out as you restack the spine. Head comes up last of all. Just loosening off the shoulders and the neck. Well done.